Guys, today we have another dragon. Yes, I've been uploading a lot of dragons back to back to back. I'm just trying to catch up with both Eric and Tony, or on YouTube, they go by Soy Sauce Assassin and Midnight Cigars. I wanted to do this Year the Dragon stuff for a long while, and I'm trying to play catch up. My great friend Tony sent me this cigar. This is the Española Year of the Dragon.
Everything that we love is temporary. Please remember me when I'm dead and I'm buried. My life's just wants to be free. Wants to be free.
When I look at the cigar, to me, it seems kind of plain. It kind of gives me that Florida Silver vibe where it's hard to see the Year of the Dragon. Like, this color scheme doesn't seem, you know, on point. I saw Rocky Patel with Davidoff, with a lot of the other ones, Vega Fina. They used this very beautiful gold trimming to their band. This one seems a little bit like brownish. Not even gold, but like more like a bronze. Before we even start touching the cigar, let me just break down the components of the cigar. We'll cut it, smoke it, see how you feel about it, and then go from that point on. First off, when it comes to the wrapper of the cigar, it is a Ecuadorian Corojo Habano. When it comes to the binder of the cigar, the binder is a Connecticut Broadleaf. And then lastly, the filler, you have Dominican and Mexican San Andrés. Typically, I would see San Andrés as a wrapper. For it to be a filler this time, seems a little bit different. So let's just see how all those components together seems to be. This is also a 6x50. Another piece of information about the cigar is if you want to get your hands on it, the MSRP of the cigar is $13, which is by most one of the most cost-efficient Year of the Dragons. I don't typically include Punch as this type of mashup, is because Punch typically sells cigars as inexpensive as possible. They're known to be not gimmicky, but more fun. They have this type of ideals with the cigars that seems out of the ordinary. The Fu Manchu, egg roll, and so on. And those cigars tend to be on the budget side. When it comes to the actual Year of the Dragons that actually does say Year of the Dragon, so far Española has been the most inexpensive. As I raise my cutter up, the last thing I need to let you guys know is, oh, Rick, this is Year of the Dragon. All the dragons are limited. How limited is this cigar? Great question. There's 500 boxes of these cigars. Each box contains 24, meaning 24 times 500 is 12,000 cigars. There's 12,000 cigars going for $13 each. That is out to grab. And that is again by Española. Do you guys find it content with all the information? Because that's all I have to offer. There's no more information. Time to cut. Ooh. Like a pepperiness to the cold draw. Okay, the wrapper is very earthy. Very sweet too. It's like a sweet aroma. Partly earthy. The foot is spicy, yet sweet, yet earthy too. Ugh. This is gonna be a spicy, earthy cigar. I think this is gonna be like a very average experience. Nothing wrong with that. You know, this is more efficient. Not everybody could go ahead and splurge the $65 or the $45 or the $80 or the $60 for the Davidoffs or for the Esencias and so on. I'll get it. Or even for the $35 for the Rocky Patel. I know people out there will love to enjoy or celebrate the Year of the Dragon, you know, in their way and fashion without feeling a strain in their wallet. I feel like this cigar might be the best choice so far, but the Esencia was kind of bland. So let me just stop being judgmental. Yeah, earth. That first retro was straight earth. There's a little spiciness and oof, kind of gritty. A little spicy leatherness to it as well. The burn so far seems very smooth. Coloration of ash. It's mostly gray, mostly white, slightly gray. Resistance is very nice. Construction seems to be holding up very well. I just gotta see how it is when you remove the band. Hopefully there's not like glue in the band that keeps it in place, because looking at it right now and feeling it, it is kind of snug on the actual cigar. I just hope by the time I get to the halfway mark, close to the last third, that heat to kind of get rid of that glue residue. Let me slide it off. Okay, now it's blossoming into like a spicy shiitake. And what I'm talking about shiitake is mushroom, because now it's getting this little meatiness to it. The pull barely has any resistance, which is something I kind of prefer. I don't like to have lockjaw or stress myself trying to enjoy something that's supposed to be something you enjoy on your downtime. I should be working out my jaw to enjoy a cigar. The resistance is ever so slight. That means the cigar so far is passing in my book. The taste notes seems to be kind of average, just nothing has been popping out to me yet. It's a spicy, leathery, earthy cigar with this meatiness feeling to it, more along the lines of mushroom, but that's all I'm getting at the moment. I do love the look of the foot when it comes to the ash, and this bad boy is long filler. But look how tightly packed the cigar is. Even though this cigar is tightly packed, it is still very loose when it comes to resistance, which I like it, but it's not too loose where it's like a straw. This is just perfect. This is the Goldilocks rule, which is just fine. This is just right. I'm getting this espresso note at the very tail end of the retro and lingering on your palate after you're done exhaling your puff. Like an espresso taste on your tongue. Now it's getting a little bit more sweeter. It's like spicy too. Not only that, like there's this red pepper to it, there's a spicy pepper. Kind of gives you the feeling of those I always forget the name of it. Every single pizzeria, it's the flakes, the pepper flakes you put on your pizza. You know how it gives the little heat spice level index, more like Scoville. Is it called Scoville? I think Scoville. That's the level you determine how spicy when it comes to the heat element of food. It's like buffalo sauce, Carolina Reaper, ghost peppers, jalapeno, and so on. They go based off Scoville. This has a spicy heat level element to it. It's nice. It lingers on your palate, a little bit of the roof of your mouth too. Then it subsides after like, what's it, 20 seconds. I'm gonna continue smoking the cigar, and I'll see you guys on the second third. So I'm at 1/3 into the cigar. It's not bad. The earth is not too pungent or dirty or swampy. It's a very sweet earth. That spiciness to the pepper level also quite nice. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't burn your nose after you do a retro. This is basically a great dragon. For its price point, it's a great dragon. That coffee is really coming out in the second third. Before it's a little bit hidden. Now it's becoming like maybe like that, not forefront. The earth is the strongest note. It's like as soon as the earth lightly like starts to die off when it comes to the taste note, the espresso comes in. I'm not too sure how you guys feel about mushrooms. I like it. I feel like I'm at a diner, or at least a nicer restaurant, and I asked for mushrooms as my appetizer, and also order a cup of coffee on the side for my drink. That's what this is so far. This is like a seasoned mushroom, you know, a little bit with that pepper, and there's still leather to it as well. You have this sweetness coming into it, almost like not creamy. I was thinking along the lines of like cane sugar, something sweet that's making it enjoyable. Maybe slightly bouquet, not like Cuban bouquet. This has like the sweet aroma and sweet taste note to it. The only thing I'm giving towards to is the caramelized sugar. Some people may not know what the hell I mean by that. Caramelized sugar is like one of the base ingredients for a very popular dessert dish in the Caribbean of flan. F-L-A-N, flan. Flan is essentially diabetes as a dessert. You have this very sweet syrup on top, and that syrup is just you putting sugar in a saucepan and cooking it. That is exactly what that syrup on top of flan is. To pinpoint the taste notes in the description of the cigar into more of like an actual plating of what you're eating, to get you guys to visualize it better, think about having portobello mushrooms seasoned with this red pepper. You have your side dessert flan, you have that caramelized sugar taste note, and on the side you're drinking a cup of coffee. That's what this is, and you're eating it on your grandma's leather couch. That's all I'm getting at the moment. I'm gonna see you guys on the last third. So I finally made it at the last third of the cigar. The band kind of was hard to get off. Heard a small little crack. That's about it. Still held up, which quite nice. It definitely was not glued on, but definitely an application was applied to keep it on. When I was slowly trying to wiggle out the band, I was hearing a little bit of cracking noises, which I did not like, and it just slightly, took apart the wrapper lightly. By the time I smoke it to that point, it's gonna correct itself and fix itself, so I don't really mind. I don't care. Taste notes has not really changed. It's been consistent. It hasn't died down. It's been the same notes throughout the whole entire smoke. Very consistent, which is not bad. Now, every cigar has to go through 1,010 flavor changes for it to be an amazing cigar. You're getting a cigar that's very reliable, has this amazing combination of flavors. Smoke output has been good. Taste notes has been good. Construction has been good. I don't really know what else I could say for the last third. I still get that espresso. I still get that spicy earth. I still get that sweet earth. I still get the little remnants of leather. That caramelized sugar is still there. This is quite reliable. I can see myself having a box of these. A box of these go for $3.12. I think there was a place that was showing $2.50 for a box. I wouldn't mind. This is quite fine. So I think on that note, I'm just gonna wrap up my opinion on the cigar and just get into my rating system. Let's start with the first rating, appearance. When it comes to appearance, the Ecuadorian Corojo Habano wrapper, it's your typical wrapper. The only issue I have is really with the appearance, it's just the band. The color scheme of supposed gold seems a little too bronze to me. And it kind of hides the Year of the Dragon font, and it kind of hides, I guess you could say, the country of Spain on it. Española, which is how you pronounce Spain in Spain. But I feel like with the color scheme of that bronze supposed to be gold, kind of hides the details they put into the band. The draw, how the cigar looks, and all that kind of sorts. Appearance, I'll give it a 4. It's not nothing amazing. It's just a barely average cigar when it comes to looks. When it comes to construction, That's when it kind of gets a little bit more better. That will be a little bit more along the lines of like 6.5, because I like the draw. I love that slight resistance where it's not like a straw, but it's not too tight. I like the fact that when there was a slight canoe when I was reviewing it off camera to get to the second third or the first third or whatever, it fixed itself. I put the cigar down for a good 2 minutes. It never went out. I never had to relight the cigar and then I had to use a lighter to touch it up. Put the cigar down for, I'll say 2 minutes. Look back at it. Ash caught up and it smoked evenly the whole way through. Taking the band off and then obviously seeing the color of the ash. Right now it's mostly gray with shades of white. I'll give the construction, I said it before, 6.5. I think 6.5 is fine for the construction. It's not revolutionary. It's not amazing. It held up well. It did its job as a cigar. So 6.5. For the taste notes, I'm going to give this bad boy a 7. Reason for the 7 is because yes, they mixed well, but it was very consistent. The taste is not like phenomenal, like oh my god, this is like amazing. It's very reliable. Like I said before, for the price point, for 13 bucks, some places saying 12.50, so you could get it at a more reasonable price. I seem this fair. For all the dragons, this seems to be a fair dragon. You get this very sweet, spicy earth. You get this leather note. You get this espresso note. You get this caramelized sugar note. Almost along the lines of like cereal, like a baking spice. It's quite enjoyable. I did not have no issues with it. I didn't get bored of it. You know, it did get slightly boring because it is very consistent. But if you're just smoking something and you want a note consistent the whole way through, this will be your best friend. If you're a type of person that actually likes earthy notes, this would be your best friend. If you like the espresso note, that it's not really dominant, but at least plays with the other notes very well and has a little stretch of time where it is like the middle ground note for a good while, this will be your best friend. On that note, this cigar is an ash. If you ever wanted to experience a Year of the Dragon limited edition cigar for this year, you're a little bit on a tighter budget, I will say definitely try this out. This will not really be disappointing. Don't expect thousands or 3 different flavor notes interchanging. It's the same notes that at 1/3, one is more prominent, the second third is a little more prominent, and the last third being more of a blend of each without it diluting. I didn't lose any taste notes. It's not watered down. The last third is actually consistent and it's just like a blend of the first and second third into one. And it just stays at the same intensity, which is not bad. Typically a lot of cigars in the last third where the taste note kind of gets watered down. This one has been consistent and I found this to be a good cigar. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's review of Española's Year of the Dragon. As always, I love your faces and I'm out. Peace.